Hi, my name is Orgasmo, and today I'm going to show you guys how to shorten and or lengthen the bridge on a bikini. This is actually the trickiest part. That's the reason why I'm starting off with this in my series of how to adjust the Kandi bikinis that I make. And as you can see here, this is a partially completed one, so we're just using this as an example today. As you can see, we have the bridge, and the bridge is actually 6 beads wide, okay? Now they have to be even numbers, so you can either have 6, 4, or 2. What we're going to be doing for this specific example is turning this 6 into 4, which is the pattern we've already laid out. Now, laying out the pattern is crucial. Make sure you have everything right, and make sure that, if you can see, I have 6 beads lined up in a row here, which lines up perfectly right there, okay? Same with this on the other side, same right there, okay? Now if you can see, the pattern is completely identical except for the fact that I basically took off those beads. The 3 blue and the 1 red, okay? Which, when combined, is actually going to make it look like this, okay? Now, the thing about this is a little bit tricky, so I'm going to try and explain this as in-depth as possible. Now, like I said, laying out your pattern ahead of time is definitely crucial, but it'll be a lot easier to go ahead and do. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my 2 center beads, which happen to be these 2 on the top. So whichever ones you have in the very middle of your pattern, on the top, right there, which happens to be these 2, you're going to go ahead and take those off, and we're going to go ahead and put those right on the string, just like so. Just like normal. That's pretty much where the simplicity ends. Now, we're going to be taking this single bead here, and putting it through both of the ends. We're going to pull it up, tighten. Now at this stage, we don't have to worry about getting it too tight, but basically you want to go ahead and make sure that it looks just like that, okay? I'm actually going to be zooming in a little bit so I can give you guys a better idea. Okay. Now that we're a little bit closer up, you guys can see a little bit better of that detail. Now, if I can get a little closer. There we go. Okay. So, now we have this. And what we're going to go ahead and do, let's go ahead and work on this side right here. Okay? So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to work from basically the bead that's the closest to the center. And at the moment, that happens to be this one right here. So I'm going to take this, put it on the string like so, and then we're going to run it through this bead right here. Now I'm going to save the tightening for the end, because believe you me, this gets really confusing really quickly. Okay? So, now the next bead I'm going to put on there is the next yellow one, just like so. Just exactly on, just like that. And then we're going to go ahead and run it through that yellow one that we just did. Okay? Basically the string on the peyote stitch actually makes sort of an S shape, as you can see. I'll just go ahead and leave that right there. Now, let's go ahead and actually start on that other side, so we can go ahead and even it up. We're going to go ahead and put it in just like so. Fish it on through. So we got the same thing looking on the other side. We're going to go ahead and do it again, just like that. And we're going to go ahead and string it through. So now as you can see, it basically looks the same on the top as it does on the bottom, right? Okay. Now that's the basic pattern. That's actually exactly how the string is strung on this particular stitch. Now what we're going to go ahead and do is you're going to go ahead and put a green one on, because that happens to be the closest. we're going to go ahead and string it through, just like that. And again, we're going to go ahead and grab that other green one and run it through that green that we just strung on there. And there we go. And I'm keeping this nice and loose so you guys can see exactly how the stitching is done, or you guys can get a much better idea. Now if you want to, you can string it the exact same place and then tighten the living hell out of it. That I'll go into a little bit further detail in a little bit. Now, because basically, this is still going to match up exactly just like that. Now if you see, the pattern is still exactly the same, but it just happens to be put on string. So we have the 2 orange in the middle, or the 2 red in the middle, excuse me, the one on the bottom, the 2 yellow on the outside, and we have the 2 green over here. We will have the 2 green over here. But I'm going to go ahead and work on this side first. Now here's where it gets even more complicated. We're going to go ahead and take this blue one on here, just like so. I'm going to go ahead and push it through that green one that we just went ahead and put on. Just like that. Okay? Now, like I said, if you see, it still matches up with that pattern perfectly, right? Now, here's where it gets even more complicated. We're going to take these 2 green ones. Okay? Now the reason why we're taking 2 up here is because we're moving up on our pattern here. Actually, let me zoom out so I can go ahead and show you guys that. Now if you can see, our pattern right here, once we hit that green